Hi everybody, Ben here, your host of the most. I'm here with my new friend Robin. We met here at Omega, the Institute for Holistic Studies, at a workshop called An Illuminated Life by Laura Lynne Jackson. She's a professional medium, and she was having a really cool workshop about how to be in tune with your medium skills, your psychic skills, how to listen to your gut, your intuition, follow signs, and also, be in tune with messages from others that have crossed that come to you. Now, strangely enough, I was not supposed to be at this workshop. Don't tell anybody, little secret of mine. But I was here for another reason. I was here for a veterans trauma recovery and yoga retreat last week. I was here with 25 other warfighters, people from special ops, amputees, guys with service dogs. We're all there for our own reasons. I was here for an entire week doing that stuff. And I had a really, really profound experience here at Omega, and I wasn't really ready to go home. So my gut said, just stick around for a couple days, just kind of mull over this experience, see what happens, really journal about this, and don't just run out of here because you'll lose a lot of experience. So I decided to stay for a couple days. And on my first day of staying, I was walking down the road. There's a little restaurant / brewery down the road, just a decompress after my workshop, and I was sitting by a fire pit, sitting by myself, and just in this pensive state of thought, and someone walked up to me and they said, "Hi, how are you? Are you from Omega?" I said, "Yeah." And they asked me if I was here for a workshop. I said, "No, I just got done." I told them what I just told you. And they told me they were here for this Illuminated Life workshop, and I had no idea what that was. And she explained who Laura Lynne Jackson was, how she was here for the week. She was looking to turn into her skills. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds neat." I kind of delved into that a little bit myself. And then she gave me the nudge. She said, why don't you just go show up? And I'm like, "No, I haven't done that workshop, but that's not what I'm here for. I haven't paid for that." She's like, "Oh, come on, just go." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And the gut was like, "Yeah, just go. And then another sign of confirmation I got was as we were walking out, there was an employee, I shouldn't say this too loud here, but there was an employee from this cafe, and they were at that restaurant too down the road. They happened to be sitting there. And they had seen me throughout the week, and they just said hi real quick. And I said, "Oh, Hannah, is it cool if I just kind of jump into other people's workshops?" She's like, "Yeah, it's fine. People do it all the time." So I was like, "Okay, I'll go." So I went to the Friday night presentation. Laura gave a really powerful thing about listening to signs, even some of the scientific studies that people have done with mediumship. I was getting kind of a lot out of it. And then went home, went to bed on the... I'm going too far here. But on the Saturday part of the workshop, we go in, and everyone, like Robin here, had come prepared. I was not, but everyone was supposed to bring a special object from home that we were supposed to practice with, and we were supposed to pair off with people. Laura was describing that was about to happen, and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't bring anything. What do I do? The most personal thing I have on me is this watch." People who know me from back home, they know that I always wear watches. I've always worn a watch since I was young. It always has to be the same kind of style. And this is also a brand new watch to me. This doesn't have any psychic energy in it because it's just so new. I've only had this thing for a month because my other watch just broke. But one of the reasons I've always had a watch was also from my aunt. She was always, one of the things that she taught me, my aunt taught me how to write well, how to speak well, how to study well. She was like that. She was one of the top 10 in her class and stuff like that. That's what she was like in life, and that's what she always tried to teach me when I was a child. And this person, Auntie Barb, love you, she actually passed away 2 years ago. So I wasn't thinking of her at all. I didn't think anything was going to come through this workshop for me. I was just coming through there with an open heart, open mind, and if anyone was going to talk to me, I wouldn't expect it to be Auntie Barb. And again, I'm not even supposed to be there. So I'm just sitting there wanting to see what happens. Now, right before the presenter, Laura, is asking us to pair off, she's talking about these signs and stuff. Robin's sitting in front of me, because we're all in rows. And by the way, there's like 300 plus people in this thing. So that's why I didn't mind poaching it, because I'm just kind of sneaking in, I'm blending into the crowd. It's not like that's a private thing. But Robin's kind of sitting in front of me, and she dropped a cap to a kombucha bottle of GTs. I recognize GTs, and by the way, cheers to your health. This is kombucha. This is from a local brewery here called the Laughing Gut. It's people who know me from back home. They know that I love kombucha. It helps me get in touch with my own intuition, my own all that stuff. So I saw Robin. She dropped the cap. I said, "Oh, did you drop this?" And I just saw it was kombucha, and that was it. And And then Laura, the presenter, minutes later said, okay, pick off with a partner. We had a couple of other partner exercises that already happened. It says, pick somebody that you've never been with before or talked to. So I just kind of nudged her on the shoulder. I said, you want to be my partner? And again, I don't know what to expect. And so we trade our objects. Robin had a very special object to her. That one right there. And I held it, and I was just trying to go through what I felt I should do. I wrote down some things. And what I felt what the object meant to me, we decided to hold it for about 5 minutes and just kind of channel whatever was coming into this. This is the first time I've ever done this. And then Robin and I go to sit somewhere else to kind of share. And then, like, I'll let you take over from there.
So I'm holding the watch, and I close my eyes and I go in, and right away, like straight through the center of my vision, a woman introduced herself to me. She said, hello, I'm Aunt Barb. And then I see her with hair similar to the coloring in the watch, like a short, almost purpley red hairstyle. And she didn't say this, but the message I received was, this watch has nothing to do with me, but it's not, the watch is not the point. I'm using this watch to come through and give you this message for Ben. And then it was more visual after that. It just looked like her going like this on the ground, like really the message was for Ben to just let everything go, let it fall away, you know, put it back down into the earth and come out of this with this lighter, brighter energy. And I also saw Ben moving a lot, like really needing to be in kinetic movement, and I saw him rock climbing and, you know, just doing activities that were very much like moving into the next activity. Like there's no big pause, there's no big gap, you just keep going, and it felt like the message was that was part of your healing, and in tandem with you just really letting things go down to the ground, down to the earth. And that's what she showed me. And when I opened my eyes, I just had this overwhelming feeling of, he's gonna think I'm nuts. This was so clear. I've never had a name come through. I've never had like an actual face of a person come and introduce themselves to me. I've always been very intuitive. I've always seen things and known things and had images project kind of over my left eye over a screen, but I've never had someone who just so like, she just materialized and just like came through. It felt very portal-like, and I have chills saying it, but and it was just like, this is who I am, kind of this nice to meet you, and here's the message for you. And it went in between the worlds of like how we communicate and not also. She was talking to me, but her mouth wasn't moving. It was like very much in that. And I was just so grateful when I opened my eyes and I shared with him. I'm like, I don't know if this name means anything to you, but Aunt Barb visited, and she kind of looked like this, and she said the watch, she's not connected to the watch, but she's using that, and here was the messages. And
that was the first thing you said.
And I have such chills, and
like my jaw just dropped.
Yeah.
She just said, like, I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, but the name
I just felt like I was apologizing.
Like, it just shocked me. I mean, she's been gone for just over 2 years now. And if anybody was going to come through, I wouldn't expect it to be her. In her life while she was here, she was very headstrong like that, with instructing me and other things. But as far as like being around people or presenting herself, she was very withdrawn while she was in this life. But it sounds like on the other side, she's living it up and very strong.
Very clear. There's no hesitation. And I will say, Laura Lynne mentioned that when you read for people, you feel this like boundless love for them, and I really do feel that like I feel like I love you like I love my children. Like I feel it, like it's this heart, I call this like this heart reverb. When I go deep in meditation, and I feel it in certain vortexy places like in North Carolina and Asheville, like I feel that like hum inside my heart that has like a frequency. And when that happened, like I could feel you moving on the property, and like I could feel like that bounce, like that pinpoint of love. Like I could genuinely feel it, and like it feels like nourishment, like when you have bone broth or something like that. Like that's what it feels like. And I've had so many beautiful moments in my life that when I got married, I had that feeling. When I had my kid, I know that feeling. And so to have it come out of thin air with a stranger just through this invitation, and it took, I don't know how else to say it, like a lot of chutzpah to say that to you about, because if it was wrong or I don't know. And just the fact that it was so clear and so meaningful for you is just really.
And to clarify, my first follow-up question was like, I thought you were like one of Laura's disciples or something. I'm like, you're not a professional, right? And Robin's like, no. So yeah, this was a very profound experience. And then after we wrapped that up, I hope things I wrote down.
There was a lot of things that he wrote down for me as well that made
That's my
so much
list
sense.
that I
And
had for her.
This particular one Latin phrase that's so connected to how I feel about my dad who passed when I was young. And I'd had also a media moment with a couple earlier in the day that was also came flying out of me. It was so spot on. So this was the second time that I'd encountered that in the same day, and it was just like so affirming, because I've always had a sense that this was somewhere where I was heading, but I just really wanted to like take the most amount of time with it, and I've been very thoughtful and small step by small step. But to have that be that day is just like,
You've been
wow,
called.
wow, so cool. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with me. And I don't know, now Aunt Barb's really living in the spotlight, because what happened
Superstar.
right after that was we all wrapped up, and I was like, wow, that was profound. And Laura on stage was like, does anyone want to say anything? And we kind of looked at each other. She's like, go ahead. So I raised my hand.
I was so glad that you shared it, by the way,
and
and not me.
Laura just saw me. She called me, and they passed the microphone over to me. And at first I'm like,
First one.
And I was like, well, yeah, I'm sitting here with Robin, and I just went over what we just said. And when I said, she called her out by her title and by her name, not just a B or a Barbara, but Aunt Barb. And that was her names, Auntie Barb or Aunt Barb. And she called her out by name, and everyone just kind of gasped in this room of 300 people. And then since we left that part of the workshop, people have come up to me and they've said, oh wow, thanks, I really feel your Aunt Barb's energy, thanks for sharing that. And it's been like,
That's special.
it's been really healing for me, because I'm like, she had a hard life at times, and I was really compassionate towards her when she was living. I always wanted to give her more love, because I know that she needed that. And it feels like she got it now, so. Thanks. Thank you.